Hi friend, welcome back to the channel where we focus less on trying and more on being the best version of ourselves. So today, I want to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about shadow work. So on this channel, I focus a lot more on making it very clear that manifestation does not have to feel like work. You've been manifesting your entire life, and I'm sure that you've manifested crazy things that you chalked up to a coincidence. Even though you did manifest them, you didn't give yourself the credit for it, but you also didn't put any work behind it, which is probably why you didn't give yourself any credit. A lot of people quantify what they're worthy of or what their value is based upon the amount of work that they put into something. A lot of people think hard work equates to success, which is not necessarily true, like at all. And it doesn't have to be true for you. This is just another belief, like all things are. But a lot of people do have that belief, especially in the society that we live in today. There's a lot of talk about hard work, hustle culture, being on your grind, all that stuff, the work. And when you come to this space, especially when you come to my channel, I want you to feel empowered and know that this can be easy, that you're capable of doing anything that I can do and more, that you are fully equipped to handle anything that comes your way, to recreate any situation, to manifest all your desires, and that if you desire it, it will be yours. And it doesn't have to take a long process. It doesn't have to take a long time. You don't have to do a whole bunch of shadow work in order to get what you want. A lot of people come to manifestation, they just want something quick and then they're out. They're not just in this for the fun of it, to learn all the information, to learn the science behind manifestation. A lot of people, especially not to learn the spirituality behind manifestation. Like I said, especially if you came from a law of attraction background. I think it's so funny. I'm gonna make an entire video about this. I know I have a lot of videos that I'm supposed to be making, okay? Just give me a little bit of time. But I think it's so funny that the way that a lot of people equate having religious trauma to like Christianity or Catholicism or whatever religion you come from, once you move away from religion and more into spirituality, I feel like a lot of people have had that same kind of experience by being jaded by the law of attraction, then moving into law of assumption. We're gonna have a whole talk about law of attraction versus law of assumption later. But back to my point, in our society, especially in my country, in America, there's a big emphasis on hustle culture, on work, on you need to put in the effort in order to get the results. The harder you work, the more you will get, the more successful you will be. Like I've already said, this is untrue. This is a belief. You have to think to yourself when people tell you things like this. Is this ultimately true? Let's just stick on this topic for a second so you can understand my line of thinking a little bit more. Is it ultimately true that you have to work hard to get the things you want? No. Sometimes people get things for free, people get things given to them. Sometimes people stumble into opportunities and they're very successful because they're aligned with that opportunity and it works out well for them. On the other hand, there are some people who work incredibly hard. Teachers, janitors, trash people, waitresses, servers, who work incredibly hard, incredibly long hours, long nights. They put in so much time and so much effort, and they are undervalued, underpaid, and overworked. Now, to say that those people are not working hard is literally a spit in the face. There are so many people that work incredibly hard and are not valued enough for their time and for their effort. On the other hand, again, there are people who are extremely successful, CEOs, business owners, and people who are not necessarily the most ethical, that don't work very hard at all and still make a whole bunch of money. That's not to say that everybody who is successful and makes a lot of money is bad. That is also not true. See, these beliefs and these things that are shown to us in order to affect our perception of the way the world is and what we're capable of are put there for a reason. People want you to think these things because it does a service to them, but not to you. It does a disservice to you because then it skews your perception of what you think you're capable of, what you think is possible, and what's actually going on in the world. Because a lot of the things that we're led to believe are true are not actually the truth. So, having said all that, we know that we don't have to work hard to get the things that we want. So when that comes to manifestation, ultimately, the goal should be for you to be able to manifest more effortlessly, more quickly, with more ease, for it to be a more fun process, and for it to not have so much pressure on the process. So when it comes to manifestation and shadow work, what I want you to understand is that you've been manifesting your entire life. If you come to manifestation and there's something that you need urgently, then you should be able to get what you want without having to worry about going through an 8-week-long course doing shadow work and healing your inner child and figuring out all your childhood trauma wounds. Okay, this is not necessary for your purpose, for the outcome that you're looking for. But I want you to understand at some point, these things, these experiences, whatever is in the shadow world, your shadow work, which just means your subconscious. All these shadows are just limiting belief systems that are stuck in your subconscious mind. These patterns are going to continue to show up in your life until you resolve them. Does that mean that you need to take out a big chunk of time and you need to go through every limiting belief that you have? You need to dig into your subconscious, figure all of them out, flip every thought, spend time reprogramming every single negative belief, every traumatic experience, everything that happened to you? No, that also doesn't serve you, because at that point, you're stuck in a healing trap of trying to fix things that happened in the past, but we have to remember that our focused attention creates. So if you're continuing to focus on problems, if you're continuing to focus on what happened to you in the past, if you're continuing to focus on the limitations and the old negative beliefs, then you are recreating those situations and scenarios to happen for you again. If you were to take the approach of, hey, something popped up in my reality, can I make a connection about this? Ask yourself, why would this scenario be popping up in my reality? Why would I be having this experience? Obviously, I have some kind of belief that says that this experience matches my identity. Can I change that belief? Yes, belief changed. Old belief out, new belief in, integrate the belief, move on. Continue to go through life, continue to manifest other things. Okay, now I'm manifesting this. Oh, that was easy. Oh shit, where'd it go? It disappeared. I must have some kind of subconscious belief that I'm not worthy of having this thing. Let me fix that belief. It was so easy for me to manifest this thing back into my life and for it to be sustainable. I'm so happy and grateful that I now know that I'm worthy of having this thing in my life. Integrate that and move on. What I want you to see is that your entire life is a process, okay? Your entire life is a journey. The work of evolving, of growing, of learning is going to continue with you for your entire life. So this is the purpose of us being here and having this experience. Now, you're not just gonna try to get it all done in the beginning and say, okay, I'm good to go, never gonna have to go through anything again, never gonna have another limiting belief, just smooth sailing from here. That would be ideal, but probably not. As you level up into new experiences, as you start to have new desires and new things popping up and new levels to break through, new ceilings, new things are gonna come up, because you're having new experiences. Just like when you had new experiences in the past, they integrated into a belief that you took into the future. So in that future, when you're having a new experience, that experience is going to be creating the new future experience. So you have to understand you're constantly evolving, you're constantly learning, you're gonna keep growing, you're gonna know new things, you're gonna realize, hey, I did that thing before and honestly, there was a better way to do that. It could have worked out better for me if I would have done it this way. Thank God now I know, and I'm just gonna do it this way from here on out. Instead of focusing on the process, instead of focusing on the shadow work, what you need to do is become the observer. You need to become the guardian of your own mind. You need to be self-aware enough to realize, hey, I'm stuck in a negative thought loop right now. I'm thinking thoughts that don't serve me right now. Or a limiting belief pops up telling you that you're not capable of manifesting this thing. Why do I have this belief? Is this ultimately true? Is this true for everybody else on the planet? Has nobody ever had a different experience than this experience I'm having right now? Is there no possible way for me to find a solution to this scenario? Even if I can't find the solution, can I trust my subconscious mind to do that work for me? Can I put a level of conviction and a level of faith on releasing this belief, becoming a new version, and trusting that it's gonna work out? If you can do that, you are the shadow work. That is your shadow work. That is your shadow work. When you changing the belief, you deciding to be a new version, you deciding that that no longer serves me, so I'm gonna acknowledge it. I'm gonna say thank you to this belief for trying to keep me safe, for serving me in the past, but now you no longer serve me. So I'm gonna release this belief, and I'm gonna choose to believe something different. I'm gonna choose to assume a different identity. I'm gonna choose to have a different experience now. And if you can do that consistently, if you can train yourself to be aware enough of your thoughts, of your mentality around everything that you experience in your life, the shadow work becomes integrated into who you are. It just becomes the way that you operate. You don't just allow something to come into your life and be like, oh, well, this shitty scenario popped up. I guess this just is what it is. I'll deal with that later while I'm over here manifesting my Ferrari. Like, no, you see the belief for what it is, because your reality is reflecting you, right? So anything you see in your reality is a belief that you hold, or a belief that you've subscribed to, obviously at a dominant capacity because it's showing up in your reality. So when those things show up, that's the opportunity for you to do your work, which is just to change the belief. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. I see this, doesn't serve me, I don't like it anymore. Thank you. Goodbye. Move on. And it's a continual decision to know that this is my new identity. Anything outside of this identity that no longer serves me, I don't have space for it. I'm not available for it anymore. I'm only available for this new experience of the new me. Experiences pop up that are unaligned. I see you. I'm aware. I acknowledge that this is a possibility in the infinite realm of possibilities. I'm choosing a new one. Goodbye. Okay? This is shadow work. This is healing. Because what you've done is you've healed your perception of yourself. You've healed your self-concept in the way of you knowing that you are fully capable of changing these beliefs the same way that you integrated them, that you can reverse this process, okay? And that it doesn't have to be a big ordeal. Sometimes it is a big ordeal. Sometimes it's like, that's a doozy. We might have to like sit down and talk about this one for a little bit. We might need to like dig a little deeper and find out why I can't stop recreating this experience, or why I think I'm not capable of having this level of bliss, or this level of joy, or this level of abundance. Why do I keep self-sabotaging myself here? Why do I keep blocking myself here? It's okay to look at it and acknowledge it and be like, oof, yeah, that's not pretty. But you know, you're there, you serve a purpose. The purpose that you serve is to reflect that story to me so that I can change it. Thank you for making me aware so that I can be better. Be aware, be better, and move along. Don't get stuck. That's the only thing. Don't get stuck in the process. Like I said, your entire life is a process. The entire thing that we're doing here is the journey. It is evolving. As spiritual beings, that's why we came here. So you have to know that there are going to be things you have to integrate along the process, and that's okay. And it doesn't have to be scary, and you don't have to hide from your shadow. If you integrate it into who you are, if you become the observer and stop judging the trauma, the past experience, the negative beliefs, the negative thoughts, and just see them for what they are, which is a reflection of you, you know that you can change those beliefs. You know that it's a choice, a consistent decision to not be open to that anymore, to not put your faith and your trust and importance in that belief anymore, and that you can switch it up at any time. It only takes you to decide. That's literally it. That's all it takes. But it's a continual decision. It's a continual decision to stay in the place of, I'm gonna see things for what they are and not hide from myself, because I know that that doesn't serve me. It serves me best when I see myself for who I am, because I get to choose who I am. So if I see anything in my reality reflecting to me a different story, I know that's not a part of me. I know that that's subconscious programming that may be somebody else integrated into me when I was young, when I didn't know any better. Maybe that's from an experience that I had in the past that I forgot about. That's fine. I don't need to remember the experience. I don't need to go back to the past. I know what the belief is because I see it. I can change the belief and I can move on. And I can be happy in that and know that I get to get what I want all along the process, that I don't have to wait until I'm at this level of healing in order to have what I want. I don't have to wait until I've done this many shadow work prompts or this much work or put in this much effort into being this version of myself to get what I want. I know that I'm constantly evolving and constantly growing, and I'm the best version of me right now. And tomorrow, the best version of me might look a little bit different, but it gets better and better every single day. It gets easier and easier every single day. I'm seeing more and more of myself every single day. I'm thriving more every day. It's getting easier every day. That's what you continue to tell yourself. It's so easy for me to integrate this. It's so easy for me to see what's serving me and what's not, and to release the things that are not serving me and move on into my lovely, abundant, full, effortless way of living. Drop the struggle. Drop the notion that you are forever a project to fix and to heal and to work on. There's nothing wrong with you. You're having, that's the purpose of this experience. That's literally why we're here, to have this contrast. And you also have to think about, I'm gonna close it off. I'm really trying not to make these too long. I also want you to think about it from the perspective of contrast. We need contrast in our experience. If we just lived in ultimate utopia, everything was perfect, everybody was filthy rich, everybody's needs were met, nothing ever went wrong, You would be bored out of your mind. You'd be so bored. You'd have no sense of ebb and flow in your life. You'd have no sense of like ups and downs. You wouldn't be able to appreciate the highs because you would have no lows to compare them to. So give gratitude for that experience, whatever the experience is that you think is holding you back or you think you need to work through, or that you see as the shadow of you instead of a part of you, instead of a part of your experience that led you to being the person you are now. See that as a reflection, because that's what it is. Like, I saw myself when I was at this low, and that motivated me to bring myself up to this level. And I see where I was before, and I see how much I'm capable of because I didn't let this experience define me. I let it serve its purpose in order to be a catalyst for me to understand that I was worth more, that I was more valuable than struggling through this experience, and especially more valuable than recreating this experience over and over again and continuing to live in this state of victimhood. I know now that I am so much more valuable, and life can get so much better from this experience. Because if you just were up here from the outset, you have nothing to compare that to. There's no substance to it. It's not good for the plot. People say this now, and that's a good thing. Maybe I've said this in another video, I don't remember, but that's what you tell yourself. Something pops up, or you're like stuck on a traumatic experience. It was good for the plot. It was good for the plot because look what happened to me and look where I am now. Look how easy it was for me to integrate that experience and be better. Look how much that literally has no effect on who I am now. So stop putting so much importance on the shadow work or on the process. Your life is the process. You are the shadow and you are yourself. It's all you, and it's all here to serve you. It's all here for you. Just look at it for what it is and decide, is this me? Is this what I want to project into my reality? Is this what I want to see reflected back to me? If the answer is no, release that old experience and decide that you're going to have a new one, and continue to make that decision until it is reflected to you in your reality, and then go about your business. And the next time something pops up, you do the same thing. You rinse and repeat. That is life. That is the process of life. It's not just going to be smooth sailing the whole time. We are humans. We have human experiences. Sometimes shit happens. Sometimes shit hits the fan. It's a lot less stressful for you if you can understand that this is the nature of life. This is the nature of experience, and that there will always be places that you can grow. There will always be places that you can be better. You can always reach new heights and new levels, but that doesn't mean that you're not worthy and deserving exactly where you are. That doesn't mean that you're not perfect, whole, and complete exactly where you are. And that doesn't mean that you can't get what you want exactly where you are. Just understand that that level of self-awareness is what's needed in order to start disidentifying with the old experiences and not have to work so hard to push them away, to just realize, yeah, that happened, doesn't serve me anymore, we're done with it, let's move on. Remember, sometimes it might be a little bit easier, sometimes it might be harder for the experience, for the person, for the situation, but the process still stands. It's still the same thing. It's still the same work every time. It's just you. It's you making that decision. Who am I? What are my assumptions? What are my beliefs? Is this true for me? Do I like this truth? Does this truth match me? If the answer is no, let's let it go. Okay? Okay. Oh, I also want to make two things very clear before I end the video. One, it is okay. It is more than okay to feel your emotions. In fact, you should never suppress your emotions, because they will continue to build and build and build until you recognize them, until you acknowledge them, until you allow them to be. If you will just allow yourself to be with your emotions when they arise and acknowledge them for what they are and understand why it's happening, one, you can get to the root of the belief why the emotion came up in the first place, and then you can transmute it and use that energy towards something better, towards creating a new reality for yourself. So you shouldn't be suppressing your emotions, and you don't have to. Negative emotions, quote unquote negative emotions, are not going to ruin your manifestation, right? Again, with the spectrum, again, with the contrast, it's all okay. And it's a catalyst for you to move forward into a better experience. Two, if you like to do shadow work, if it feels good for you, if you love to journal, if you love to go through all that stuff and it's serving you in your journey, then you should continue to do that. I will always tell you to do what feels good for you. I will always tell you that I'm never the end all be all, and neither is anybody else. You have to decide for yourself what is good for you, what you feel like is serving you at that point in time. That might change throughout your life, that might stay the same. But again, up to you to decide. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I want to give you a new perspective and a new way to understand how this experience can be more integrated, how you can even make shadow work effortless, and how if you just become one with your shadow, if you start understanding it and you make your shadow your friend instead of your enemy, then you're not constantly working, banging on your shadow's door like, hey, got some more limiting beliefs for me? Got some more trauma? What do I need to figure out? It's like, fuck off, shut up. Your trauma's tired of you, okay? Let's be honest. Your limiting beliefs are tired of you. Your trauma's tired of you. Move on. Anyway, I know you guys get me. I know you get where I'm coming from. And I know that you know that ultimately you are the decider, you're the decision maker, you are the creator, and you are gonna do what best serves you. Again, like I said, sometimes it's nice to see a little perspective shift and to understand things in a little bit of a different way. And I think that that's something that is a little bit missing and lacking from the shadow work conversation, because just like anything can serve you up until a certain point, and then it becomes not of very much service, not of very much value. Too much of a good thing is sometimes a bad thing. So listen to yourself, be kind to yourself, be understanding with yourself, and allow what needs to happen, what needs to flow through you, what needs to be seen, and don't try to deny it, because just going like this and pretending that it doesn't exist is not great. If you can go like this and not pretend it doesn't exist, but know it doesn't exist and focus completely on the new reality, then you don't have to worry about it. But if you're just going like this and it's sitting here yelling at you and you're just like, la 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 la, I don't see you. If you would have just been like, hey, shut up. Everything's fine. We're not in that place anymore. We're not doing that anymore. Everything's fine. You can chill. Like, your job's done. It'll be like, oh, really? You heard me? Finally. Dude, I've been trying to go on vacation for like 2 weeks, but you weren't listening to me. Come on. Anyway, listen to your shadow. It's okay. It's okay to be friends with your shadow. It makes things a lot easier and a lot more effortless, okay? And we love that over here. We love that. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for me today. I really hope you guys enjoyed and got something of value from this video. Please be sure to leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment box below, and check out the description for my social media links, services, all that good stuff is down below. And other than that, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.